Hey guys, Dr. Steph. These are the top 5 foods that you're going to want to eliminate if you're dealing with something painful like fibromyalgia. All right, so food number 1, you got to cut out the added sugars. And here's why. There's a lot of evidence coming out ever since 2019. There's some compelling research that says that the gut microbiome, when it gets destroyed through things like leaky gut, too much inflammation, that it actually ramps up the severity of fibromyalgia symptoms. So if you want to ramp down the severity of the painful symptoms, then the first thing you got to look at is healing the gut, and the fastest way to do that is to lower inflammation so you can heal that gut lining. And so you want to cut out the added sugars, which are known to be highly inflammatory, mess up your hormones, create dysbiosis down there. And so as hard as it is to cut out the sugars, that's the first thing you really want to do. Anything, you got to read the label, anything that has added sugars, high fructose corn syrup, you got to cut it out. The number 2 food that I want you to cut out to lower pain levels through lowered inflammation and helping the gut to heal is conventional grains. Here's why. All crops that we eat, like wheat and corn, they're all heavily sprayed with a chemical called glyphosate. So we know it as Roundup, but it's used on all of our farmlands, all of our crops. And study after study after study show that glyphosate actually disrupts our gut microbiome, creates a condition called leaky gut down there, which ramps up inflammation and leads you more towards autoimmune type inflammatory conditions, fibromyalgia included. And so if you want to tamp down those pain symptoms, if you want to walk towards healing the leaky gut, then really important to cut out those conventional grains that are sprayed with the pesticides. If you want to go one level higher and get even faster results, you do what we call here at the clinic our advanced plan. You actually just cut out all the grains and you do more of a paleo style diet. You've probably heard of that, where it's basically focusing on clean, lean meats and veggies. And that's actually the fastest way that I've seen people get out of pain, heal the gut, balance hormones. And so cut out those grains, certainly the conventional ones that are not organic, that are full of those toxic pesticides that ruin our gut bacteria and increase inflammation. The number 3 food that you absolutely want to cut out are damaged fats. Damaged fats are highly inflammatory. They damage the gut-brain connection through damaging the gut lining, creating leaky gut. And so those are things like your canola oils, your corn oils, basically your vegetable and seed oils, the sunflower, safflower oils that you see in the potato chips, right? Anything that's deep fried. Things that you might not expect those oils to be in are things like the breads that you buy, other packaged foods. So you got to read your labels, and if you see things like canola, corn, safflower, soybean oil is one of the major ones that are used in all restaurants. Definitely avoid the soybean oil. So if you can cut those out, you're going to see inflammation and pain levels dramatically drop in your body, and you'll be on the fast track towards a pain-free life. All right, guys, number 4 on the list is conventionally raised meat products. So you've got your factory farmed cows and beef, factory farmed chickens, and even farmed fish. I would absolutely avoid those types of products because, again, they've been shown to be highly inflammatory, do damage to the gut. Why is that? Because those animals are eating the same things I just told you to stop eating that are full of glyphosate, gut-ruining chemicals, because the cows and the chickens, they're fed a grain-based diet, but not organic grains, not natural grains. They're fed grains that have been sprayed with the same chemicals you're trying to avoid. And so if you're eating that flesh, well, expect higher levels of inflammation. This is one of the big ones. If you're on a budget, then start with this category, switch out the bad meats, and go to grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Things like pasture-raised chickens is the label you want to look for, and wild-caught fish, not the farm-raised fish. And again, you're going to be taking a big step towards lowering inflammation in the body, healing that gut, and dramatically reducing your pain levels. Okay, and number 5. This is not going to make me a popular guy at parties, but you do want to cut out the alcohol if you're dealing with any kind of inflammatory condition. Fibromyalgia is one of those inflammatory conditions where science is showing us that there's out of control inflammation because of a damaged gut microbiome. And so if you want to tamp that down, you ought to cut out the alcohol. Maybe not forever, but if you're serious about healing and serious about getting out of pain, or at least significantly improving your outcomes, you should set a challenge for yourself for the next several weeks to even several months for some of you to absolutely cut out any alcohol because of how damaging and inflammatory that is. All right, guys, so that's the top 5 list of worst offenders that you ought to start by cutting out, or at least reducing significantly if you ever expect to start healing the gut and healing the inflammation. If you noticed, the theme here is you got to stick with what we call God-made foods. So things that are just naturally occurring and have not been processed, not been altered, and instead of focusing on man-made foods. So it's God-made foods versus man-made foods. So when it comes to grains, first of all, you should cut them out, but you want to at least switch to organic products. Same thing with the meats, not factory farmed things fed with grains sprayed with pesticides. You want to choose the products that are just freely roaming and eating the grasses, wild caught, etc. So you get the theme. It's God-made foods versus man-made foods. And so I hope that makes sense. That's going to take your body a long way towards healing and experiencing a lot less pain. And it's often a necessary step when we see patients here at the clinic. We have to include some sort of lifestyle modification towards just natural. So exiting convention and going towards those God-made foods is a huge step for you guys towards healing and getting out of pain. Hope that was helpful. All right, I'll see you in the next one.